Alchemy Emperor of the Divine Dao, Chapter 937, Chapter Beneath the Vast Heavens of the Chaotic Stars, Majestic Empire, the wheels of destiny began to turn quietly. The left minister let out a faint sigh, his gaze drifting into the distance like one who had seen too many secrets of the world. Yet when it came to the heavenly sea mystery realm, he chose silence. Not a single word more escaped his lips, as though even speaking of it would stir unseen tides. Ling Han observed this, but did not press further. In his heart, he had already made another plan, to seek answers from Shui Yanyu once he returned. There were some truths that revealed themselves only when the time was right. The three of them rode within the left minister's carriage, its speed swift as a gale sweeping across the plains. In what felt like mere moments, they had already arrived outside the imperial palace. At this boundary, even the authority of the left minister halted. The carriage could proceed no further. They descended, and the palace guards stepped forward with cold efficiency, inspecting their identities with sharp, unyielding eyes. Only after confirming everything did they step aside and grant passage. The left minister's voice turned stern, carrying the weight of countless court intrigues. "While we are here, you must not speak recklessly." "Yes." Ling Han and Xiang Chengyun answered in unison, their tones respectful and resolute. Before them stood the heart of the empire, the supreme authority of the chaotic star's majestic empire, and one of the three ruling centers of the entire joint peace planet. The palace stretched out like a dreamscape of pink hues, its architecture delicate yet imposing. It bore a distinctly feminine elegance, but none dared to mock it. For the one who ruled here was none other than the Empress, a woman whose beauty was said to surpass all under heaven. It was said that even the rulers of the other two majestic empires would abandon their lands and crowns just to win her favor. If such legends were true, then what kind of allure did she possess? Ling Han's heart stirred with curiosity. After all this time, he would finally have the chance to see this legendary empress with his own eyes, to witness the charm that could sway kings and overturn nations. Beside him, Xiang Chengyun's breathing had already grown uneven. Though he had seen the Empress before, her beauty was not something one could grow accustomed to. Each encounter was like facing a heavenly vision, dazzling, overwhelming, unforgettable. It was said that once one had laid eyes upon her imperial majesty, all other beauties in the world would seem dull and lifeless in comparison. And so they entered deeper into the palace. The guards gradually changed. Male soldiers gave way to female guards, their presence disciplined and sharp. It was clear that within these inner sanctums, trust was a rare commodity. Perhaps men were deemed too easily swayed by desire, and thus unfit to guard the most sacred grounds. Soon, the grand stage of the martial arts competition came into view. The imperial training field stretched wide and vast, like a battlefield awaiting legends to carve their names into history. At its center stood a raised platform, the arena where strength would decide honor and defeat. Surrounding it were towering spectator stands, 4 in total, rising like cliffs encircling a valley. To the south stood the grandest of them all, majestic, commanding, like a monarch among mountains. This was the exclusive seat of the Empress. Only the 9 kings were permitted to ascend there. The eastern stand was reserved for the Eternity Sky Majestic Empire, the western for the Jade Drop Majestic Empire, and the northern for high officials, such as the left and right ministers and the 7 great generals. This was no ordinary gathering. Each empire had sent its finest. The Eternity Sky Majestic Empire was led by the Emperor's own brother. The Jade Drop Majestic Empire had dispatched the Emperor's 4th uncle. These were towering figures whose cultivation had reached the heavenly body tier, beings who stood above the masses like gods among mortals. Naturally, Ling Han had no place among such heights. He remained among the ordinary stands below, while Xiang Chengyun, through the influence of the left minister, managed to secure a position within the northern grandstand. From where Ling Han stood, the southern stand was too high, too distant. Even if the Empress had arrived, he would not be able to see her. A trace of regret flickered across his heart. Not because of any personal desire, but because he had heard too many tales of her unparalleled beauty. It was only natural to wish to confirm such legends with one's own eyes. On the field below, Contestants from the three majestic empires gathered. The stage battle rules were simple, yet absolute. Whoever fell off the platform would be deemed defeated. There would be no endless chasing, no prolonged struggle. After all, those seated above were powerful figures. How could they waste time watching drawn-out fights between shattering void-tier cultivators? Just then, Xiang Chengyan hurried over, his expression unusually serious. "Brother Ling, I've just received some information. There's trouble this time." He waved for the others to gather. "What trouble?" Ma Xing replied casually, waving his hand. "With Brother Ling here, first place is already ours." "That's right," the others echoed, their confidence in Ling Han unwavering. Yet Xiang Chengyun shook his head. "That's exactly the problem," he said gravely. "I've looked into the other two empires. They each have an exceptional contestant." "More exceptional than Brother Ling?" Ma Xing scoffed. Xiang Chengyun's expression darkened. "The one from the Eternity Sky Majestic Empire is rumored to be a descendant of the Peacock Flame King. And the Jade Drop Majestic Empire has a contestant known as the Big Turtle King, believed to carry the bloodline of the Divine Beast, the Black Tortoise." At these words, even the confident group fell silent. Divine Beast bloodlines? Such power could not be judged by ordinary standards. Ling Han, however, smiled faintly, his eyes gleaming with anticipation. "That," he said calmly, "I would like to see." For too long he had stood above his peers, unrivaled among those of the same tier. Victory had become routine, and as he himself thought, being invincible was truly a lonely thing. His calm confidence steadied the others. Though he lacked a Divine Beast bloodline, Ling Han himself was already extraordinary beyond measure. Then a sharp, commanding voice echoed across the entire training ground. "Her Imperial Majesty arrives." In an instant, every person present stood up as one, like waves rising to greet the tide. Ling Han lifted his gaze toward the southern grandstand, but he could see nothing, only the distant silhouette of figures moving above. A ripple of excitement spread through the other grandstands. Those fortunate enough to be seated there strained their eyes, eager to catch even a single glimpse of the Empress whose beauty had captivated the world. Alas, those below could only imagine. "Let's begin," came a slightly trembling voice. It was the Ninth King. Her voice soon steadied as she continued. "The previous champion was the Eternity Sky Majestic Empire. They will defend. Chaotic Stars Majestic Empire, as second place, will attack first. Jade Drop Majestic Empire will follow." The arrangements had long been decided. As soon as her words fell, a contestant from the Eternity Sky Majestic Empire leapt onto the stage with a powerful bound. From the Chaotic Stars Majestic Empire, a man named Mo Xiang stepped forward to challenge him. The battle began. Yet Ling Han paid it little attention. As the strongest among them, he would be the final one to step onto the stage. There was still time. Instead, his gaze wandered through the crowd. Soon, he found the figure he sought, Shu Yanyu. She stood among her companions from the academy, her presence as graceful as ever. When she noticed Ling Han looking at her, the girls around her immediately burst into teasing laughter, their playful words causing her cheeks to flush with embarrassment. Ling Han smiled faintly. Then his eyes shifted, and he saw another familiar face, Luo Li. The man sat behind a group of middle-aged and elderly figures. When their gazes met, Luo Li's expression turned strange, a mix of resentment and something like satisfaction. Behind him, those elders cast cold, piercing glances toward Ling Han. Their killing intent was undisguised. They were members of the Luo clan. Understanding dawned upon Ling Han. "So that's why they hate me so much?" His lips curved into a faint, almost mocking smile. "Then you'd better watch carefully," he thought. "Watch as I sweep through this battlefield and give you even more reason to hate me." The battle upon the narrow platform unfolded with the swiftness of a thunderclap. There was no room for evasive footwork, no space to weave intricate movement techniques. On such a confined stage, all subtlety was stripped away, leaving only raw power and direct confrontation. In mere exchanges of a few moves, the fighters were already locked in close-quarters combat, fists colliding with palms, energy crashing against energy like waves against jagged cliffs. Time passed like a fleeting breath. Just over half an hour had gone by, yet the once crowded platform had already been reduced to a sparse battlefield. On the side of the Chaotic Stars Majestic Empire, only 3 figures remained standing. The other two empires fared no better. Their ranks similarly thinned, their elites fallen one after another. The truth became clear to all who watched. Aside from anomalies like Linghan, rare monsters born perhaps once in a generation, the three great majestic empires stood on nearly equal footing when it came to nurturing top-tier talents. When Ma Xing was finally defeated and forced off the platform, Ye Chengyun stepped forward. His gaze was sharp, his aura steady as a mountain. With a deliberate motion, he selected 4 opponents from the opposing empires, not to fight all at once, but to force a hidden figure into the open. And as expected, the leader of the Eternity Sky Majestic Empire revealed herself. She stepped onto the stage like a vision from a painting. Her figure was slender and graceful, her features so exquisite they seemed sculpted by heaven itself. Long, straight hair cascaded down her back, reaching her waist like a flowing black waterfall. Her attire was striking. Her upper garment cut short, revealing a slender stretch of waist as pale as ivory and smooth as polished jade. Below, she wore tight leather pants that ended just beneath the knee, exposing a pair of flawless calves, their porcelain-like whiteness forming a vivid contrast against the dark material. Her figure curved with natural perfection, every line of her body harmonizing into a form that was both elegant and dangerously alluring. She cupped her fist slightly. Eternity Sky Majestic Empire, Yuranger. Ye Chengyun's eyes flickered with a trace of astonishment, but he quickly returned the gesture. Chaotic Star's Majestic Empire. Ye Chengyun. Their voices fell, and in unison, "Please! Please!" The instant the formalities ended, Yuranger moved. Her body surged forward like a streak of light, her speed so astonishing it seemed as though she had vanished and reappeared in the blink of an eye. In less than a heartbeat, she was already before Ye Chengyun, her palm pressing forward with unstoppable force. Ye Chengyun's pupils shrank. Such speed, far beyond his expectations, yet he was no ordinary cultivator. With battle prowess reaching 21 stars of the Shattering Void tier, his strength was formidable. Without hesitation, he clenched his fist and met her attack head-on. Pang! Palm and fist collided with explosive force. But in the next instant, Ye Chengyun's figure was sent flying like a broken kite, hurled straight off the platform before he could even stabilize himself. Silence fell. He had been completely overpowered. Linghan's eyes gleamed faintly. He could clearly sense it. Yuranger's displayed battle prowess hovered slightly above 21 stars, not yet reaching 22. And yet, she had not used any secret techniques. This meant her true strength had already surpassed 22 stars, perhaps even approaching 23. A formidable opponent indeed. With Ye Chengyun defeated, it was now the Jade Drop Majestic Empire's turn. Their leader stepped forward. Jade Drop Majestic Empire, Zhonghai. He was an unusual sight. Though not short, his posture was hunched, his back curved into a strange semicircular shape, like the shell of a tortoise. Flat, yet rounded, it carried an unmistakable aura of something ancient and resilient, a descendant of the black tortoise. Perhaps it was no mere rumor after all. The battle began. From the very first exchange, it was clear. Yuaranger dominated the offensive. Her attacks were swift and precise, her palms cutting through the air like blades of wind. Yet no matter how fierce her strikes became, Zhonghai remained unmoved. Whenever danger approached, he simply turned his back. That strange, tortoise-like back of his absorbed every attack with terrifying ease. The spectators quickly realized the dilemma. To harm him, one would need to engage at close range, close enough that he could not turn around in time, but such a method was perilous. Close combat was the domain of body cultivators, not those who relied on origin power. But Yuranger was no ordinary cultivator. Her eyes flashed. Peacock's numerous plumes, shatters the cosmos. In an instant, a radiant display unfolded behind her. 72 brilliant plumes burst forth, fanning out like the tail of a celestial peacock. Each plume shimmered with dazzling colors, brimming with destructive power. Then, shoo shoo! All 72 plumes shot forward simultaneously, streaking toward Zhonghai like a rain of divine arrows. There was no such thing as absolute defense in this world, only attacks that were not strong enough. And yet, Zhonghai smirked. As before, he turned his back, but this time something changed. His back bulged outward, tearing through his clothes as a true tortoiseshell emerged, oval, black, and ancient. Across its surface, divine patterns lit up, interweaving and glowing with an eerie brilliance. Though he stood only at the shattering void tier, he could already activate divine patterns. Even if only a few, their power was undeniable. This was the gift of his bloodline, allowing him to wield a fragment of immortal-level power ahead of time. The plume struck. A dazzling explosion of light erupted as all 72 attacks collided with the shell, and when the light faded, Zhonghai stood unharmed. Ha! Ha! Laughing loudly, he did not counterattack. Instead, he lowered his body and charged forward. Using his tortoiseshell as a battering ram, his intent was obvious. He did not need to defeat Yu Ronger. He only needed to knock her off the platform. Crude, but effective. With such terrifying defense, even a single impact from that shell would be unbearable for a shattering void tier cultivator. And once forced into a corner, defeat would be inevitable. Yu Ronger tried to evade, but the platform was too small. In the end, she was knocked off. Her figure fell beyond the edge. Defeat. Fury flashed across her face. In terms of true strength, she was not inferior to Zhonghai. But within the confines of this arena, her overwhelming offensive power had been rendered nearly useless. Thus, the outcome was sealed. The Eternity Sky Majestic Empire would take third place. The struggle for first would now be decided between the Chaotic Stars Majestic Empire and the Jade Drop Majestic Empire. The crowd erupted in discontent. Hisses and boos filled the air. Beauty naturally won hearts, and now many spectators openly sided with Yu Ronger, eager to see Zhonghai driven off the stage. But Zhonghai merely stood there, unbothered. His skin was as thick as his shell. Then slowly he turned and pointed a finger toward Ling Han, a blatant provocation. "Senior brother Ling, eliminate him!" The disciples of the Chaotic Stars Majestic Empire shouted, their anger boiling. Ling Han only smiled faintly. With calm, unhurried steps, he walked toward the platform. His pace neither quickened nor slowed. His mind was steady as still water, unshaken by taunts, unmoved by the crowd. Step by step, he ascended. Zhonghai sneered, "Hurry up, once I defeat you, we'll be number one." Ling Han ignored him. Reaching the center, he spoke plainly. "Chaotic Stars Majestic Empire, Ling Han. Jade Drop Majestic Empire, Zhonghai, please, please." The moment the greetings ended, Zhonghai moved first. With a hideous grin, he threw a punch, testing his opponent. Ling Han raised his hand casually. A slash of sword chi flashed through the air, effortlessly dispersing the attack. "You have some strength," Zhonghai said coldly. His eyes changed. The black and white of his pupils faded into a deathly pale hue. His fists tightened as his aura surged like a rising tide. Furious sea of fists. With a roar, both fists struck forward. In an instant, the sound of crashing waves filled the air. A phantom tidal wave surged forth, roaring toward Ling Han with overwhelming force. Ling Han observed calmly. Around 22 stars, nearing 23. He judged inwardly. Then, how strong was he now? Go! He stepped forward and struck with a palm. Golden light burst forth like a rising sun. The tidal wave was split apart instantly, torn in two as though it had never existed. And the power did not stop. It continued forward, bearing down on Zhonghai. Shock flashed across Zhonghai's face. What kind of attack was this? Without hesitation, he turned his back once more, relying on his invincible defense. Hong Ling Han's palm struck the tortoiseshell. For a moment, everything seemed to freeze. Only the flickering glow of divine patterns danced across the shell. Had it been blocked again? Disappointment spread through the crowd. But then, ka! A crisp sound echoed. A crack appeared, thin at first, then spreading. Like a spider's web, fractures raced across the entire shell in an instant. And then, piece by piece, the tortoise shell shattered. Like fragile porcelain, it broke apart completely.